The cool thing about the stripes in these gloves is that it happens completely random as a result of the fixed color transitions in the yarn. This yarn is Peyton's Croy Socks. It's one of the only yarns that you can find nowadays that's like a mass-produced sock yarn. There's all sorts of color options available, lots of stripes as you can imagine, because people like to make stripy socks. It's really great for gloves too. You need something that's thin. You need something that has a little bit of stretch to it because, you know, gloves are a lot like socks. You want them to be kind of tight, but you also need them to stretch, and, you know, striking that balance is, well, I mean, sock yarn. The yarn does all of the work for you. It has the color palette picked out for you. It's the easy button when it comes to adding stripes to your project. Yeah, this is gonna be a good glove. I made a pair of socks, I don't know, like back in August or something, and I actually used this stitch. It's called the wainscot stitch. It's single crochet, it's just worked in a really weird spot. But what it does is produce a stitch that looks exactly like the stockinette stitch in knitting, and there's a reason why that stitch is used for all sorts of projects, socks and gloves included. It's just a good versatile stitch. It's got some good stretch, and it's thicker with crochet as you would expect, but that's fine. It works out really, really well. Now, I'm kind of rambling here at this point, though you will see more of these gloves, and you will definitely find the pattern for it here in the coming weeks. But for now, I don't know, we're just talking about these at this point. This is one of the projects that's on my hook right now, and although it's not really what I wanted to talk about for this video, there are stripes in this, and that is what I want to talk about. So we don't have to rely on self-striping yarn in order to create stripes in our projects. You can just so easily improvise a blanket pattern, just finding a really good stitch that you love and then throwing some stripes in there to make it, you know, visually interesting. You'd probably like to see what the stripes are going to look like before you just go into it. Like, sometimes winging it is fun and just kind of figuring out the pattern as you go, but that's not for everybody, and it's not for every project, to be completely honest. Or you could use one of the free random stripes generators that are online. So go to Google, type in random stripes generator, and you'll see a few options. Well, one of these I know has been around for a really long time. The other ones I'm less familiar with. So starting off with the biscuitsandjam.com option, this is the one that I know has been around for a while. The functionality of them is all pretty much the same. So let's pick some colors here. I think that one is really pretty, and I don't know, that one. We'll go with like a cream and then maybe like a gray. Yeah. Let's say 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's what we're open to. Now, if you really wanted like big color blocks, you've got more options here. You can go all the way up to 20 rows if you'd like. So here we'll go to generate my stripes, and actually those colors look kind of nice together. Now, the other thing that's really necessary for an app like this, I mean, is it really an app? It's more like a web page, but you know what I mean. We need to know how many stripes or how many rows is in each stripe. The text looks something like this. It's, you know, a little bit different, but once you know how to read it, it's, you know, pretty straightforward. And yeah, you can just go back and forth until you find something that really strikes your fancy. There is, though, another option that, to be completely honest, I just found this. So we go to randomstripes.com. It's right here at the top of our Google search. And then we're met with a familiar look here. We've got the same options. We've got color picker, but there's another little feature that this adds, and that's the one that I'm really excited about. So let's first select some colors. Let's try apricot and vintage peach and cream and mushroom. Ooh, yeah, I really like that palette. Okay. All right, from here, let's stick to our 100. That worked for the last one. We've got 100 rows to work with. 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's say we'll cap it at 6. You can use the colors in the order above. So right here in your selected colors, you can like drag these wherever you want, and then it's going to use the colors in that order to generate the stripe pattern. Let's go with random. And then voila, we have a random stripe pattern. Now let's say we don't really love this one. It doesn't have enough of that mushroom color that we like so much. So we can just click generate stripes again. We get a completely different look. Generate again, and we've got something completely different yet again. So you get the idea here. Now here's the part that I am really excited about. You have this little feature here. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Like, this is perfect for a granny square blanket. Let's say we know we need 12 squares in the width of our blanket, and then we need 15 squares high. And we have a perfectly random arrangement of granny squares. I don't know. I don't know if you're as excited about this as I am, and I don't know why I'm as excited about this, because you could get this look from, you know, hand picking it in Excel or using Stitch Fiddle, but this is random, okay? Let's say I'm not a huge fan of that arrangement. I'm just gonna keep clicking generate squares until I find something that catches my eye and that makes me go, ooh, okay. Now, I don't really like that one. Has a little bit too much cream, but like, yeah, that one feels very evenly distributed. I like that. That's very pretty. When you're seeing the text here, this is the top of the design. So we've got one cream block, mushroom, cream, vintage peach, apricot, cream. And so that's how you would read it, and that's how you would count how many blocks or squares that you would have to crochet. Let me jump back real quick to the stripes. This one is how many versions of the color that you see is how many stripes, or not stripes, how many rows you would crochet in your stripes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cream. So this is a 5-row stripe in the color cream. Then we have one vintage peach. No, we have 2. Oh my gosh, okay. We have 2 vintage peaches. So this is a 2-stripe, 2-row stripe. I'll get it eventually. I will get it right. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cream. This is a 5-row cream stripe. Nailed it. Then we have 1 cream. You get the idea. We can generate to our heart's content, but I don't see a way of saving this. So what I would recommend doing is, just grabbing your phone and taking a picture of the color diagram part, and then maybe, copying and pasting the text into, a Word document or something that you can print, but just, that's what we're able to use right now with not having a save function. So you gotta get a little bit creative there. Let's say you have no clue how to put colors together for your project. There is another website that I wanted to show you, and this one is free as well. You will go to, let's see, Color Palette Generator. Should be the top selection, but this one that says couleurs, that's what I call it. I don't really know if that's how you pronounce it, but this option is pretty cool. It's not the perfect solution, but it's good for inspiration. I really like it for that. You're going to start the generator. You're going to hit the space bar. So it's presented us with a color palette, and maybe we're not into greens. So we'll hit the space bar, and that's going to generate a completely different color palette. And then, we just keep hitting the space bar. Let's say, I actually really, really like this color palette. And yeah, I mean, that's the functionality of this website. You just hit the spacebar until you find a color palette that, you know, stops you in your tracks and makes you say, ooh, like this one. This one's actually very pretty. So then we might go to the yarn store or go to the website if we're so brave to order our yarn online with pictures that may or may not look as they do in real life. And we'll look at our options and say, okay, do we have any of these color options? I know that I liked this palette before. How can I find a color that's available to me in the yarn that I want to use that kind of corresponds with this? Now, I also want to say that this video was absolutely not sponsored by any of these websites. These websites have no idea that I even am making a video showing you how cool of a resource they are. So I realized that, like, none of these websites are the perfect solution. You have to make a few assumptions, but generally speaking, these are really great resources to help you just be inspired and figure out what you like and what you don't like without investing anything into it. Maybe just a couple of minutes. I mean, you saw how quick that was. So anyways, you know about these programs. If you want to use them for a future project, just play around with them. It's actually kind of fun. Now, I must go get ready to make some lunch, and then I'm going to a place to pick up a thing that I can't tell you about yet, but I can tell you about it soon. Just soon.
Hello. Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Nice to meet you in person.
Nice to meet you. Yeah.
Well, here we
I'm
go.
excited to see them.
Okay.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I love them.
Of course, you can take a look at it.